Hi, everyone. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes. This is Dan Rowe, Director of Conference Operations for Share Orlando. And we'll give it 2.
Yeah, we'll give it a few minutes before we kick off here so people can join.
If you have any questions, there is a Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to put any questions in the Q&A as we go along in this presentation. I'll repeat that again when I start.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and get started. So hello and welcome to today's webinar, the Share Attendee Orientation for Orlando, presented to you by Share's Director of Conference Operations, Dan Rule, and Share's Director of Leader Development, Dusty Rivers. Attendees are muted during a Zoom webinar, but we do encourage you to submit questions through the Q&A box on your webinar toolbar, like Dan just mentioned. So these will be addressed at the end of the presentation. This orientation will be recorded and available for view on share.org's website. And I will now turn the webinar over to Dan to begin. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Good day to everybody. This is a webinar on the Share Attendee Orientation for Orlando. So we're excited to have Share in Orlando. And let's go to the next screen here. I tend to talk fast, and forgive me, but like I said, if you have any questions on Q&A, or if you have any other questions, you could also send them to Share HQ at share.org. So this is the agenda we're going to be going through today. All right. Share is a volunteer-run organization, and this is my pitch. Please volunteer and become a volunteer, and incorporate yourself in making future shares great. Next slide. This is some of the stats. We have 1,000+ companies, 13,000 individual contacts. I'm not going to read it all. This will be recorded and posted on the Share site, which you can review later. Next slide, please. These are the volunteer focus areas. Just bear in mind, over time, these things may change. But the last couple of shares, we've been using these categories: core platform, service delivery, new and innovative technologies, application development, and professional skills. So these are the focus areas and tracks that are part of this. And feel free to be a volunteer at any of these different areas that are here. This is the schedule. I am not going to read through it because there is an app that is available. If you went to previous shares, make sure on your app on your phone you do a change event on it, so you're not seeing New Orleans, but do a change event on your app. There'll be a code in this deck, so have your phone ready to scan for the app later in this deck. So next slide. This is more of the agenda. And again, the app is the most current version of the agenda. These are the type of sessions: technical sessions. There's going to be lunch and learns, partner sponsored sessions. There's some closed sessions. And there's also birds of a feather that's not on this list, but we do have a slide on that. We have a couple birds of a feather have been defined already. If you want to do birds of a feather, please contact Share HQ and we can make that happen. And I think Dusty's going to be talking about those sessions. Next slide. The general session and keynote will have Bill Walton as the keynote speaker. And also there's going to be a panel, a talk panel with Broadcom and Sono and Rocket Software. And so this will be the keynote session. It's Monday, March 4th from 7:30 to 9 a.m. And then from 7:30 to 7:45, there's coffee with Scott Fagan. These are the digital badges for this share. We have different digital badges for different shares, but there's 2 digital badges that are available. And in order to achieve a digital badge, you have to attend 10 sessions, and where there will be a code in the session to be able to get your digital badge. These are the lunch and learn sessions that are available. They're on 2 days, March 4th and March 7th, Monday and Thursday, and take advantage of the free food, and they'll talk product during these lunch and learn sessions. Tuesday lunch, thanks to Broadcom, Tuesday lunch is March 5th, 11:45 to 12:45. Broadcom will have their, they had their lunch last year too at New Orleans, and so take advantage of this lunch buffet. It'll be provided on Tuesday from 11:45 to 12:45. I think this is Dusty.
It is. Thanks, Dan. So also, the Women in IT event will be held on March 3rd from 4 to 5 p.m. Right now, this registration is closed for this event. SHARE encourages and supports women pursuing careers in enterprise IT, and it is returning now to Orlando. It is open to all attendees, but as I said before, it is closed for this event, and you should have gotten a notification if you were accepted for the event. So next slide. Also, the SHARE booth. Make sure you come by and visit the SHARE booth. It'll be in the STE out during the STE during hours on Monday through Wednesday. The booth will look a little different this year. Swing by, take a photo, chat with the staff and other attendees, and also pick up your mainframe 60th anniversary pin. We'll be celebrating the mainframe's 60th anniversary at this share. Also, while you're at the booth, make sure you update your share membership information with us to receive your exclusive share pin and the t-shirt. Also, any membership questions you have, things that have to do with your individual membership, with your corporate membership, be sure and stop by the booth and we'll answer those questions for you. And there will be somebody in the booth at all hours at the STE. Next slide. So actually, also go to the next one. Also at this share, we're returning to the original format. There'll be several receptions. On Sunday, our welcome reception will be from 3, will be on March 3rd, 5 o'clock to 7. It will not be in the STE. It will be on the Rosen Center pool deck. Also, as a note right now, I would make sure you check the weather because it could be cool, so be sure and bring a jacket. And Monday evening, there's going to be 3 meetups. These will be in the STE at these booths. There will be a Women in IT booth, our meetup in booth 505. This year, for the first time, there'll be a Veterans in IT meetup at booth 427. And also first-time attendees at booth number 104. Also on Sunday night at the welcome reception, these 3 groups will have, they'll be hanging out. So try to find the groups if you're interested in the Women in IT, Veterans in IT, or if you want to identify as first-time attendees. Okay, next one. At this time, we've got a couple of birds of feather sessions. Some of these are already scheduled, and if you want to schedule a birds of feather session, you can send it to I think it's speakers at share.org. There's a couple of them. There's a couple of them scheduled for Tuesday, a discussion on why soft skills are important in career advancement. There's also birds of a feather, again, for veterans in IT. Another one for improving the ZOS Shell client. Mainframe Open Education Program. And then also Wednesday, there is going to be a birds of a feather slot from 5:30 to 6:30. Right now, there's one session, where to implement application in virtual machines on Linux IBM-Z or in containers in Red Hat OpenShift. If you have a birds of a feather session you would like to schedule, please send that request in. Again, the times are Tuesday from 7:15 to 7:45 or Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30. So next one. So also one of the things I wanted to mention is we always have a very powerful Share Technology Expo, or STE. There's over 40 plus companies there. These are partners. They will be there talking about their latest products, talking about their companies. It will be located in the Rosen Center, the Grand C, D, and E. Be sure and take note of the hours. Monday, it'll be 5 to 7. Tuesday, it'll be 4:30 to 6:30. And Wednesday, it'll be 11:30 to 1:30. A note for Wednesday, this will be the passport to prizes will be done during this time. But also Wednesday, there will be a light lunch served during the 11:30 to 1:30 session. So there won't be any lunch and learns on Wednesday, so you can show up for a free lunch. Next slide. Also, when you arrive, information, share resources at registration, you'll receive your Share ID badge and your Passport for Prizes game card, which will go around to the STE to get stamped. Be sure and check your name badge when you register. If you pre-registered, your lunch and learn sessions will be printed on your badge. But I'd encourage you to check your name tag, make sure your name is correct, or as you'd like it to appear on your badge, and also your company name is correct. Volunteers, you can pick up your volunteer ribbon next to the registration desk at the event support desk. And also, as a note, since this is early 2024, be sure and complete your Con 2 online before picking up your ribbon, so you will be designated as a volunteer. Speakers, be sure and pick up your speaker pin at the event support desk next to registration. And also, there's going to be other networking opportunities, as I mentioned. You can review those in your app and the agenda. So next slide. Share resources. I would suggest prior to your arrival, go to the event homepage, make sure to map out your schedule, make sure you map out the rooms, any general questions. And once on site, you can visit the event support desk or find Share staff or volunteers to answer any questions you may have. And again, here are some lists. There's online resources, obviously the event homepage, the technical agenda that has speakers, rooms, sessions. On site, if you have any questions, there's always the event support desk, Share staff, Share volunteers, Share ambassadors. And be sure, I think Dan mentioned this at the beginning, be sure and download the mobile app because it has all the information and any changes. Next slide. So this time, one of the things we always mention is when you're on site, the event support desk will be available for you to get answers or get your questions answered. But the Share staff is always available throughout the event. If you see someone walking around with the black Share staff, they can answer your question. They have all the answers. Also, this year at the Share, there will be this teal, or I guess you'd call it a blue T-shirt. We have a new program called Share Ambassadors. It has Share on the front, and I think it has ambassadors on the back. You can think of our brand ambassadors as a cross between Apple Store employee and general knowledge of the event. Like if you go to a Disney park, you find someone who knows who's going to welcome you, tell you about the event, and tell you where things are. So be sure to find these ambassadors and the event support staff if you have any questions. Next slide. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to leave this slide up for a while. So if you scan the QR code, this will take you to the App Store. The App Store works for, wait a minute, you went too far, Jeff. It will take you to the App Store. This QR code, the app will work on Android and iOS. You may have to hit a button. And as Dan mentioned before, if you've been to Share before, you may still have New Orleans loaded in there. So make sure that you select the event marked Orlando. Okay, next one. Now, in the mobile app, for those of you who have used it, you're familiar with this. You'll find a lot of this. You can find your technical agenda. You can create your personalized schedule. Also, you can export it to your calendar. You can also message other attendees using the directory. If you want to hook up with somebody to talk, find out where they are going to be, what session they're going to, you can do the app to do that. You can view the exhibitors and the sponsors, find out what booth they're in, and also where that booth is located. You can also have the floor map, or what we call the event map, of where the rooms are, where the presentation rooms are, where the lunch and learn rooms are, where the PSP sessions are. And you can also receive notifications about important event updates. If, in other words, if a speaker changes, a speaker has to cancel, or they move a room, your app is the best place to find this information. So the next slide. And these are, these are just kind of a couple of things. Once you get into the app, you can export your sessions to your calendar. If you go through and plan your agenda, if you say export, it'll put it on your calendar. So you'll have a personal view of what your agenda is for the week. You can see the button. I mean, you can go through the app yourself when you get it. Also, next, you can go in, add pictures of yourself, add information of yourself, add contact information. And this is just to, again, where people can get in touch with you, or you can find out, things that change during the event. So before we move to the Q&A segment, Dan is going to go through some other final reminders. Dan?
Sounds like I got a lot of responsibility here. Okay. Share your feedback. So submit your session evaluations each session you attend. I think we talk about this all the time in all the shares, so it's really important to the speakers get feedback. It also it helps us identify what are the best papers and all that awards that we would do subsequently to the event. This is the link to doing the share evaluations. I would recommend using the mobile app. It actually is pretty easy to do it just off the mobile app. Next slide. This is the hashtag for share. No, I guess that's right. I'm thinking Orleans here, but that is right. Orlando.
Hey, Dan, I would also on the slide, if I can jump in here, is if you take pictures at share and you post it on social media, if you'll hashtag it, share will see this and like it. So that way all the social media can be grouped together.
Good. Next slide. We're to the question time. We've answered a couple questions live. Is there any other questions that folks may have? If you could go back to the previous screen that shows how to export the agenda to a calendar. There, it should be this. This is iOS. I don't think we have a screenshot.
The app looks the same on it.
Okay. We could hang there. But I think this is adding individual calendar entries, not the entire calendar. Brian, do you happen to know if the entire calendar can be that's on your app be exported to?
It can be it can be exported. I know Jonah is typing some responses now. So basically everything that you import in for the week as far as your schedule can be exported out to a couple different options. I know Google Calendar as well as Outlook.
So if I have, I'm just doing a test here.
I know that there was also a question about dress code. Dan or Dusty, do you guys want to talk about that a little bit as well?
Yeah, I think what we say is business casual. I mean,
Right.
also I would suggest this because someone asked me this last time. If you are cold-natured at all, sometimes people will say that the event rooms, sometimes they're going to have the air on, so bring a jacket or a sweater. But pretty much it's business casual, what you wear at any conference.
And then
And
we
I
got a
think-
question if the deck is going to be available. So yes, the deck and the recording will all be available on the Share website following this meeting.
Oh, okay. That's weird. Just reading Lionel's question. Okay. Any other questions?
The good
Um,
news,
hey-
good news for the question about dress code is all the events are self-contained in the Rosen. So you're walking blocks and blocks to get to the meeting, so you'll have time in between the sessions.
Then we got a question about evening receptions. So here are the STE hours for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yes.
Again,
They should be on the app, right?
they will
Well, that-
also be on your app. Yep.
Yes. Also, there's the receptions will be in the STE, but on Sunday night, I believe it is 5 to 7. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the kickoff, welcome reception, 5 to 7 Sunday night, outside the Rosen Hotel at the pool.
I don't see any more questions. I think what I said earlier, if there's any additional questions, feel free to send it to sharehq@share.org. And we'll look forward to seeing you in Orlando.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.